What screams insecurity but most people don't realize? Story 1. When you achieve something or improve your life in any way, and their first instinct is to tease or make fun of you, it actually screams instant jealousy. I went back to school and a judgmental friend said, "Wow, how old will you be when you're done?" I said, "Probably the same age I'd be if I never went back." I graduated in 2021 with my first degree in electronics engineering. I was 52 years old. My mom said this when I told her and said it in a mocking tone. "Oh, now that you got a degree, don't you think that you're too old to use it to get a job or use it for anything?" You never expect your own mother to be a jealous, competitive jerk, but mine is because she's a narcissist. Always having something negative to say when something good happens to someone else. For example, "Oh, you're gonna hate that new job," or "They should have done X instead." Just be happy that someone else is happy. My boyfriend does that. He's also the type that if you prove him wrong, he'll get really angry and storm off. He's gotten better, but it's been a long, hard road. Edit. Had a lot of people who think I should walk away. I've known him for over 40 years. He was the best man at my wedding, best buds with my husband, and is the godfather to our kids. 99% of the time, he's the best thing I ever had and treats me a lot better than my husband ever did. He didn't realize how bad it was until after my husband passed. I understand that this is a character flaw. He's not going to change at this point, so I just smile to myself and think, "Gotcha." He literally realizes his mistake after he's done his research and apologizes. He's actually pretty kind and caring, even though he comes across as gruff. It's all an act. We are 59 and 62. It works. You don't walk away from someone who has a few flaws. Story 2. Never apologizing. Some people will twist the story, change the way it happened, and retell it so convincingly that they'll believe their own nonsense but will never apologize. I struggled with this into my early 30s, not from a place of narcissism or gaslighting, I hope, but something that came out during therapy. My dad would frequently say, "Sorry isn't good enough," to me whenever I did something bad or wrong. It really punched me in the face when I realized that him instilling into me that apologizing wasn't good enough really made it hard for me to do that as an adult. Therapy is wild, man. Story 3. In terms of leadership, it's when someone can't or won't take input from the rest of their team and tries to act like they have all the answers. I was this type of insecure leader once, and I thought that if I used the idea of someone with less experience than me, everyone would think that I was a weak leader. But after I was removed from that position, I had to work for a lot of managers who did a lot of the same stupid shit that I was doing, but magnified due to years of insecurity, habit, and karma. I have since learned that if I hear people out, discuss a course of action, go with other people's ideas, and especially give them credit, you can gain exponentially more influence and respect. That even people who have little experience should have their input considered. I feel horrible for the people who had to work with me, but now I just don't act like I'm a more capable leader. I am a more capable leader. Shakespearean TLDR, take every man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Story 4. When they can give you shit all day, but they can't take it back whatsoever. Man, I have an employee like this. He ribs people and talks shit all day long. The instant someone fires a shot back, it's the end of the world. 48-year-old crybaby. Story 5. Gossip and triangulation. Talking about someone they have issues with to other people without addressing this issue directly with the person whom they have a problem with screams insecurity. Story 6. Those handshakes that are firm to the point you wonder if they are actually trying to hurt you. As a kid raised up around people that were in the military, they always taught me that a firm handshake projects confidence and integrity. A very tender handshake means that the person is very insecure and should not be trusted. The amount of people who truly believe in that is ridiculous, so as an insecure person who shouldn't be trusted, I tend to give firm handshakes, but not too firm, to customers that I'm about to sucker into buying a 2005 Nissan Altima with 200,000 miles, a slipping transmission, a rusted up frame, and no warranty for $9,500 at my used car dealership. That baby's gonna last 100 miles, that is. Story 7. Always being judgy about other people. I was raised by an incredibly judgmental mom and an incredibly judgmental sister, and it has taken me years to move past this. My knee-jerk reaction is often still judgmental, but then my rational brain kicks in, and I tell myself as long as they aren't hurting themselves or anyone else, and all their pink parts are covered. It's not my business. Let people live their lives. Story 8. On the flip side, being open about your insecurities and really trying to overcome them is a great character trait. I see a lot of comments here branding common insecurities as red flags, and I don't think one should consider insecurities inherently evil. Being insecure doesn't make you a bad person. It's how you let your struggles control you that defines whether they are problematic or not. That's something I only realized as I got older. Everyone has their hang-ups. What I look for in a person is if they have the insight into their issues and they are willing to make themselves better. Having no insight into yourself and your issues is bad, but not as bad as having the insight and refusing to change your behaviors for the better. Story 9. Domineering, loud, and braggadocious, constantly fishing for compliments and approval, e.g., will speak poorly of themselves in hopes of receiving compliments. People who speak poorly of others who are happy and enjoying life are also insecure, in my opinion, especially speaking poorly of people who have more money than them. Story 10. Taking a situation that was never about you or had you involved in it and somehow making it all about yourself and playing the victim, even though you had to meddle in it and make yourself the victim. My wife's boss fired someone recently and has been going on for 3 days about how hard it was to do that, even calling my wife at home to profess her broken emotional state over it. Girl, you weren't the one who got fired before Christmas, and you could have waited the 2 weeks if it's so much on your conscience. Constantly talking shit on other people for an inflated sense of self-worth. Used to have a friend that was really fixated on bad-mouthing a specific girl. With time, I realized that everything my friend hated about this other girl were things that she actually did as well. So she actually was just insecure about her own flaws and projecting. That friendship didn't last long. Story 11. Obsessing over hierarchies or who is ahead and who is behind in life. I have a friend that literally only wants to talk about ahead and behind. Doesn't matter if it's the first time seeing him in literal months. It's all he wants to talk about. I mean, he has done really well for himself compared to most others in our social group, and good for him. But I have my own insecurities about being one of the behinds and would love to not be reminded of this fact when I'm out trying to have a good time. Story 12. Insecurity can manifest in different ways and can be difficult to detect, as people often try to hide or cover up their insecurities. Some common behaviors or actions that may indicate insecurity include seeking constant validation or reassurance. If a person constantly seeks validation or reassurance from others, it could be a sign that they are insecure or unsure of themselves. Putting others down. People who are insecure may try to make themselves feel better by belittling or putting others down. Overcompensating. Someone who is insecure may try to overcompensate by boasting or exaggerating their achievements or abilities. Being overly critical of themselves or others. Insecurity can sometimes lead to excessively criticizing oneself or others. Being overly defensive. If a person becomes defensive or reactive when their beliefs or actions are questioned, it could be a sign of insecurity. It is important to remember that everyone experiences insecurity at some point in their lives, and it is a normal part of being human. However, it is important to address and work on insecurities healthily to promote personal growth and well-being. We sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch our YouTube video. If you find our content helpful and enjoyable, please click the subscribe button to stay updated on any new videos we share in the future. Thank you once again, and we hope to see you in our next upcoming videos.